Hey everybody, back again to look at a stack of metal albums. A couple new ones, a couple old ones, and a good mix of stuff. So, last night I was supposed to go to the Kiss End of the Road tour and bring my son along with me. The first two times they came through Toronto on this final tour, I went to both of those. But this was the first time that my son was going to see Kiss and basically his last opportunity. And the night before in Ottawa, they canceled the show last minute, literally half hour before the opening band was supposed to go on. And when I heard that news the next day, I was just had my eyes peeled on the phone all day, looking at people's comments on social media. And there weren't a lot of straight answers or explanations out there. So I was getting worried. Then the Kiss Twitter account said, "Toronto, see you tonight." I said, beautiful, they're going to do it. Who knows what happened the night before? Probably some sketchiness, but looks like they are going to play a big city like Toronto. And we are just about to leave home when Paul Stanley tweets out, "I've had the flu. I'm so sorry, but the shows are canceled. And keep in mind, these shows are not going to be rescheduled." So, I guess I understand. But, makes me pretty upset. I mean, I've seen them before. I don't really care about missing the show. But, you know, my son's disappointed, and it's definitely something that I wish we could have shared together. No, it's not going to happen, but life goes on. I'm sure Paul and Gene could care less about what I think, so, you know, I'll complain a little bit. I just didn't like the way the whole thing went down. It was way too hush-hush until the very last second. And the jokes write themselves, right? Hey, Paul, you know, you're not even going to be actually singing anyways. Or, hey, Paul, how about you get 12 more boosters to keep yourself healthy? But what are you going to do? But anyways, that was a bit of a detour. And my point is that my son was upset. My tickets are going to be refunded. So I said, okay, let's go to the mall and I'll blow that money on you. So I got the new Mario game and whatnot. And I decided to get a couple albums for myself. So the first one I'm going to show you here is the new album by Dying Fetus, Make Them Beg for Death. Dying Fetus are probably one of the most popular death metal bands right now and of the last 10, 20 years, I'd say. American band, and actually it's a band I have not followed very closely whatsoever. This is actually my first physical copy of one of their albums. And a lot of long-time fans say that the old stuff's where it's at, the new stuff isn't as good. And it's strange because I don't even really like this album cover. It's a bit much, and same with the album title. But just for weeks now, it's been saying, "Buy me, buy me, buy me." So I finally made the purchase. Brutal death metal, very talented players. I got to give this several more listens before I have a ton to say about it. And the other album I bought is this one, We Are the Romans by Botch. I had been familiar with this album ever since it came out in 1999. Had the CDR for many years. And this has gone down as a classic album. It came out initially on Hydra Head, and this is a 2022 re-release on Sargent House. Botch have also reformed, playing some shows, and they put out, I think, one song several months ago. So they come through town on tour. I'll definitely check that out. This is, I don't want to call it metalcore, but I guess in the 1999 sense of a term, I guess it was kind of doing the mathcore, metal, hardcore mix. And I always loved this era of music, just the bands that were really breaking through this style. The album that I've always paired it with is Jupiter by Cave In. And these are very, very different albums. This one is pretty heavy and this one is pretty mellow. But they came out about the same time, same record label, and I always, again, pair them up as a bit of a good 1-2 combo for a late 90s trip. Jupiter. I still think that's one of the best albums ever. And I have the first botch album here as well, American Universo. They only had 2 full-length albums before they broke up. And I also have Unifying Themes Redux, which is a collection of odds and ends that came out after the band broke up. Next up, we're gonna look at a couple new albums from Profound Lore. You know me, that's my favorite record label, and 9 out of 10 releases are a blind buy, at least if we're talking on CD. So this is the new album by Wayfarer, American Gothic. This is a band from Colorado, and they started off more or less as a black metal band, but they have slowly incorporated Western sounds and themes, very American-centric. We'll get back to that in a second. I first bought the second full-length album, World's Blood. I have absolutely no complaints about it, aside from the fact that I found it a little boring. It just didn't quite grab me. But they were already starting with the Old West theme. I also got the third album, A Romance with Violence. I thought this was a big step up. I just found it very fresh, very listenable. Haven't gotten bored of it yet. I thought this was a great album. So I was a little worried when American Gothic first came out, because while this Western black metal thing is a novel concept, I'm looking at the album artwork, the title, some of the song titles, The Cattle Thief. Some of the promo pictures had the guys wearing cowboy hats. The opening guitar on the album. I just found it all a little bit too on the nose. But this is still a really good album. Another one that is new to me, so I can't really give too much of an opinion on it. But they're doing their own thing now, so you can't really judge as a black metal release. It's a mixture of many kinds of metal, with the aforementioned Americana themes. And it's really its own thing now, and a job well done, I'd say. And at least one of the members of the band is, well, I think a couple guys are in from that whole Colorado scene. I mean, there's at least one guy that's in Blood Incantation, and I think at least one guy that's in this Lycotonin, a newer band. And this is the booklet for the new album, American Gothic. Pretty cool. It's a Old West newspaper thing they got going on. And I also grabbed this album because it reminds me of them. They're called Dead to a Dying World. This is their most recent album, Elegy. It's not just the album cover and the fact that they came out around the same time. It was just another example of the American West and black metal being melded into something new and fresh. A couple of videos ago, I was looking at the Metalhead box, and it came with this album by Stargazer, Emerging to the Boundless. So I'm going back to get my thoughts on it. I was pretty excited to get it because I am familiar with the band. I think the first album was called A Scream That Tore the Sky. I heard that online, and I picked up that album probably 12, 15 years ago. A great work of ages. Australian occult death metal. I always thought that was a great release, and I was looking forward to checking this one out. I think this is excellent, and I think I have a new band that I want to grab everything I can from. The album that came out after this, it's the newest one, but a couple years old now. I'm definitely going to buy that the next time I I placed an order with a distro or something. My favorite songs on here are the third one, An Earth Rides Its Endless Carousel, and the fifth song, The Grand Equalizer. I guess what differentiates the band the most from their peers is they're very bass-centric. I don't mean there's no guitar, I just mean the bass is very clean, up front in the mix, and it's doing its own, dexterous, experimental playing all over it. So that's what makes them different. Long songs, some short songs. I'm really into these guys right now. And we're gonna close it off with Golden Grey by Baroness. I did a Baroness ranking just about a week ago, and I forgot to pull this out, so we'll do it here. This is my only Baroness album on vinyl, and as I mentioned in that video, it is my second favorite, almost my first favorite. Great artwork as usual. I mentioned before that my favorite songs are Tourniquet, Borderlines, and Broken Halo, which is, at this point, my favorite Baroness song. And what color is my vinyl? Haven't broke this out in a while. Well, you got an orange. And like a blue, so not quite a golden gray, but I suppose that's what they were going for. Great album, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching.